First and foremost, we are live. All right, it is 1 o'clock in the morning on Labor Day. Shout out to AEW and also my kids, right? Because Chidi hit me at 12 and was like, "Yo, I got 15 minutes," and I was like, "Cool, let me put these niggas down and I'll meet you." And he hit me at 12:45. He was like, "Dog."
Yeah, shit. I'll fall asleep
So
during the
between
show.
AEW, yo, all right. So since we here, bro, I am in my closet at 1 o'clock in the morning, away from them. Okay, this Patreon, this whatever
Yeah,
it
it's
is,
Patreon.
yo, wear condoms.
Of
Okay,
course.
all right, cool. Just
Actually, I
nigga,
mean, I don't, but I hear you, man. I get the
bruh,
point.
No, I'm telling you right now, brother. Just a lifetime supply of them hoes, man. Like your whole day, your motivation, like it's to your kids.
I know, I know. Well,
It's to your kids. So I was watching NXT putting beds together and cribs earlier today and
Uh,
then completely missed the last hour of AEW. So tell me, with your sleepy ass,
listen,
did it pay off?
shout out to
Did
CJ Chris
Moxley and Punk
Jr.'s
pay
birthday. By the way, I was gonna take a shot for him on air, but it's way too late to be taking those shots.
It looked like you
But shout
already.
out
It looked like you took you. It looked like you took how many shots was matches from
Oh my
AEW tonight.
god. I honestly I can't tell you the last couple of matches because I literally just fast forwarded it to like the last match. I'm like I saw Jericho and shit. I was like, let me skip this shit. The woman, I skipped that shit too. Um, Swerve in Our Glory is like the last match I saw, and I saw like half of it. So yeah, I don't know everything that happened, but I will say this: John Moxley and CM Punk it was a good fight. Wasn't crazy, but I think the biggest takeaway from the show is the guy who we thought would be there, the guy who I knew would be the Joker, the guy who is the devil. You know, the devil's back. Our boy with the Burberry, you know, the Burberry scarf, you know, MJF, and I'm glad to see him back. So I think that the way they did it with him winning the Joker, with him not revealing himself. I already knew it was MJF, but it's by the way he was walking and shit. Like that's my guy. And then later on, CM Punk,
The little
yeah, I could
R
see he's just
Greg Lee.
all exaggerating and shit. I'm like, this is MJF, man. The only person it could be, And then later on, CM Punk defeats John Moxley, and I think the finish was pretty dope. He, hit him up, lifted him up from the bulldog choke into the GTS. He fell back on top of him, picked him up again, boom, hit him with another GTS, pinned him after a brutal match. It was good. It was a good fight. I didn't expect CM Punk to take the victory in Chicago, but he did. And then the lights go out, and then we hear a recording of a voicemail of Tony Khan saying, "Listen, it's been months. The fans want you back. I know you don't care about the fans, but I do. What if I just, I'll put you in the Joker spot and you come to AEW, and I'll pay you X amount. They bleeped out how much he's getting, but you don't gotta sign an extension. Da 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 da. And um,
Told you, nigga, he was gonna get that bag without having to re-up. Nigga, Kyler
yeah,
Murray, nigga.
yeah,
He
exactly.
Kyler Murray that
Kylie
nigga.
Murray, that guy, man. So he got the bag, and then the the reveal happens, and he puts on the Burberry scarf, and we know what's up. So like, I'm really excited to see what happens next with him. Obviously, with CM Punk being the champion now, like the undisputed champion right now, two-time AEW champion CM Punk. It was a great finish. It was a great finish to a show because we know the history between MJF and CM Punk. And even before the clip, they revealed MJF. They had a clip of Punk saying the greatest thing about the devil is when he made you think that he didn't exist, and then there was the reveal of MJF. That was, so I thought it was a little nice touch of that finish of the show. But all in all, this has been a weekend of wrestling. Oh God, it's been crazy. It's a lot, and I enjoyed all the shows. AEW stole. I mean, I think the trios match stole the night to me. That trios match was fire. Like like I said, Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, they never disappoint. And then on top of that, you got Hangman and John Silver and Reynolds. I don't know his first name, but figured out his last name is Reynolds today. They did a great job putting on a great show today, so I want to shout them out. To TBS Championship, still on Jay Charger, looking great as She-Hulk, and I think that was one of her better matches. It wasn't crazy, but I think that she's getting better in the ring, honestly, and I like that. So I was like interested in seeing that match. What else? We got Stars took a L to Hobbs, like as you knew, you predicted that. So that was a quick match, but he kind of dominated that. Other than that, like I told you, I skipped a couple matches. I'm like, yo, I didn't, order the pay-per-view. We got it on stream, and I was on delay, so I was like, you know what? Let me just go to the last video because it's late as fuck, and I'm not watching Chris Jericho fight right now. And congratulations to Tony Storm. I predicted her getting the interim women's championship. Sorry, but I didn't watch the match, so I'll go back and watch that when I get some time. But all in all, it was a good show. From what I saw, at least.
I heard Athena and Jade was not a good match.
I thought it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I think that Jade is getting better. I think that Athena honestly gave her a good bout. I think that obviously the baddies got involved, but she took him out. I think there were some moments in there, so I didn't think it was a bad match. I personally didn't. It wasn't like something that was like, oh man, that was trash. No, it was quick. It wasn't fat. It wasn't like a long time, but yeah, it was Jade. Athena got some good shit in. Jade got some good shit in, and then eventually got the victory.
I thought to me the match the ending was anticlimactic, but that ladder match was amazing.
Yeah, right? The ladder match was good.
The ladder match was unbelievable.
It was kind of confusing though, like you said, like with everybody having like a partner and shit, like that kind of like was weird to me.
Super weird. It made the dynamic of the match just like
completely confusing. Changed up the whole dynamic of the match. So it could have been better. And then when we got,
Retribution
coming out there, pretty much, and Stokely getting the chip and handling it to who we now know is MJF. Seems like he was got hired a gun. So the ending was kind of anticlimactic to me too, because we didn't ever get the reveal until later on that night. But when they
what's Stokely doing with all these niggas?
Stokely's a manager, and he's giving his business card out, and he's building his own, dangerous alliance. He's building his own, Heyman, whatever you want to call it, or if you want to call it,
I love this nigga not bringing Black Friday management to AEW. Man.
Black Friday management?
It's some shit he took from Low Key and shit like that back in the what I'm saying?
I haven't heard of that. Yeah. Who knows what he's doing, but he has a whole bunch of niggas. Ethan Page, you got Lee Moriarty, W. Morrissey.
Yeah. And now, MJF.
I mean, I'm not sure if MJF didn't just hire them or if he's part of that group. So we'll see. He came out there, got his shit, and left. But I'm glad to see MJF back on. However, the show before that today, that was a second wrestling show today. We watched also
Yes, sir.
NXT When Worlds Collide, which I thought was a more complete show because I mean, obviously, I missed like a couple of these matches.
It was a more shorter show.
Yes,
Yes.
short, compact, you can digest it. The matches were, they all flowed. Um, it was good. It was good. I mean, I didn't even know it was on at 4 o'clock because I'm like, all right, they're not overseas. They'll probably come around 7 o'clock too. I gotta bounce back and forth between AEW and them. But nah, that shit was on at 4, off at like 6. Like I was like, wow,
You ain't gotta bounce. You ain't gotta bounce back nothing, nigga. We
nothing.
got
Yeah.
you.
So I was like, all right, bet they
We'll
give me
get
a
you off
solid.
and give you a break, nigga.
I got to even, chill, go get something to eat, come back, and get ready for the next show. But let's talk about it. First and foremost, that dude, man, Carmelo
That
Hayes,
nigga
that
him.
dude,
That nigga
he's
him,
him.
bro.
Yeah,
That
Carmelo
nigga him.
Hayes putting people's names in the rafters, man. Their jerseys up. I thought that was epic. Now Ricochet's jersey gets added to the list. Ricochet
That's
said he wanted to
creative.
give him a match that it was
That
gonna
was
be
creative.
remembered,
That was
and
creative as fuck, bro.
I'm gonna remember that match. So shout out to Carmelo and Ricochet for putting on that show. I could think it could have been better, but I think that this is one of those matches that I thought was one of the better shows of all the matches I saw today. Um,
And
I liked
the right guy went over.
the white guy went over, the right guy went over, but I believe the finish was to save face for Ricochet. So
Of course.
I would like to see them, compete and like again. I would like to see this match again. Hopefully, we see it soon. But if not, we'll see it in the future. Um, Other than that, let's talk about the women's championship match because a lot, I know you said that it was one of Mandy's best matches or the
And he
best match he's
had her
had.
working boots on,
She
nigga.
was working, but here's the thing about Mandy Rose, and I think that people miss it. It's like I think Mandy's good. I think I mind you, before she wasn't champion, I thought they should have put the title on her. I was saying, what, put the title on Mandy. It makes sense. There's nobody else. But the thing about Mandy is that she's not this like this reign. It's about to be a year coming up, and to me, that's not like she's not that caliber of a talent that she's like that dominant to me in my mind. But she's a great worker. She's got the look and everything. She's not even that great as a character to me that she should be this long as women's champion. I think that she's a person who can be a great heel to get over a great baby face. I think she
I'm gonna be honest. You name me a character or a woman on NXT that could take that title off her.
I mean, I think Roxy should be next up. I'll be honest with you. They could have gave it to
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm gonna be dead ass. Roxy ain't there to grab no title off of motherfucking man.
why
But I
not?
like
I mean,
okay.
Nikita Lyons seems to be getting a lot of love. Like, there's a lot of people that I think that at some
You
point she
go ahead.
drops that shit.
Yeah, she drops, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, so she been champion for a year, 313 days, right? Okay, Dakota Kai
Dakota
could have
Kai.
been champion. Okay, and then did what? You know what I'm saying? We got Raquel Gonzalez who
She got
was
called up.
already champion. She took the title off of her. You know what I'm saying? Like that roster wasn't it. Mandy did what
Candace
she.
left. She had a baby. I got you. Yeah, and I know I feel you. I think that she should have had the reign she's had, but I don't think that this reign is like helping the women's division per se. I don't think that it's gotten anybody else elevated. I don't think that Roxy necessarily is like that like level, but I think that she is at a level where she can work well and she can beat
No,
Mandy and be taken
nobody's
credible.
will you care about her?
Yeah, I think I would personally because I know that what I'm getting from her. I know what I'm going to get from her.
What are you getting from her? Like, I'm okay. I don't want to be stuck here because I said this wasn't gonna be long, so we can kind of like maybe pin it. But my thing is like, you're not getting nothing from a character that you don't know nothing about, right? You know Roxy from ROH, you know like, but this character right now, Roxy Perez or whatever she's portrayed to be, like the only thing you know is that her best friend beat her ass, and that's it. Like, other than that, like that'll make you
Nah,
champion
I think
contender.
that I'm getting a baby face, like a white meat, like baby face. That's all I'm getting is a baby face. You know, a baby face who can work, who's going to be a fighting champion. That's what I'm talking about. Now, do I think that
So you want her
she
to be
needs like some
Liv?
kind of, huh?
You want her to be
She's better
Liv?
than Liv. Liv is an underdog baby face. I'll be honest with you. Liv is carrying that
What do you
title.
think Roxy's gonna be?
Roxy's not. I don't think Roxy is like underdog to Mandy. I think Roxy's on par with Mandy as far as size, ability, ring work.
When they had their championship match, nigga, ain't no way in the world we knew Roxy was taking the title off of Mandy, bro.
I mean, hey, you know,
No. I mean, hey, nothing. They had a match. You knew that
it's all
Roxy.
about how you build it. You know, it's all about how we get there. Now, if you have her, you know, spinning her wheels with Cora Jade for 3 months, then yeah, she's just sitting here, you know, having matches, and Cora Jade's, you know, in the mix with her. But if you build her with Toxic Attraction and against them, and you put an angle together, they can for sure put something together by a takeover and give her the championship. I think that it's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't think that Mandy Rose is like a Jade Cargill, which is like going on an undefeated streak where it's like, oh, she looks that dominant over somebody else. Now, granted, she's a great heel. I'm not saying she ain't a good worker. I thought she
But
was a good.
that's what I'm saying. Like Jade is Mandy, bro, or Mandy
To me,
is Jade. Like,
I don't
well,
agree.
I
Yeah,
mean, we're
I think
only
that's how
saying
they
that.
portray it, but
But we're
I don't see it.
we're saying, I mean, you're only saying it because you're looking at the. I don't want to speak to you, but I just know you're looking at Jade, you're looking at Mandy, right? You're looking at the presence of one. Of like, yes, one should be dominant, one shouldn't be. But at the same time, like you want to talk about worker, you want to talk about character, you want to talk about like competence as champion. Like they're very comparable at the same position. Now, my thing is this: Jade has a higher ceiling, right? So like this is Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. You dig what I'm saying? Like Mandy is Jimmy Garoppolo, but what I'm saying is you can't discredit a nigga that took you to the bowl. You know what I'm saying? Like I think Mandy is Trish Stratus in a way where you're saying like go back. I don't know. Like we could be revisionist history, nigga, but when Trish Stratus is WWF Women's Champion, we like over Jacqueline, over Ivory,
Nah,
over Victoria, over
nah,
Lita. Like,
never.
okay,
I was never
all
that
right,
way with Trish.
all
You
right,
can't
cool.
compare Manny to Trish. Let's not do that.
Why you get? Hold on. You're to no, nigga. I'm not talking about what we know as
No, I'm
Trish
talking about when
Stratus,
I
nigga.
was like talking about like how she portrayed herself as a character on screen for
Okay,
years.
okay,
I mean, when
okay.
she was champion, you know, it wasn't like over anybody because the first of all, the quality, the threshold of talent at the time was at a certain level, you know, and she had mic skills, she had presence, and she was a women's champion, you know, that was credible. Trish, even when she had
Was
her first reign.
no, she was not.
Do
Okay,
you remember, dog? Who do you think would have been champion over her? What, Stephanie and Lita?
again, we're talking about a presence, nigga. That's the whole point of Mandy. That's the reason why I put Mandy and Trish in that box.
Trish has a more of a presence than Mandy. I'm gonna be honest. Like
No,
even back
they were.
then.
Um, uh, uh, okay, we're stuck here, and I don't want to be stuck here.
We
Mandy
can move
has the
on.
same presence that Trish has right now. Mandy has the same presence. Early Trish Stratus. I'm not talking about motherfucking main events in WrestleMania with Mickey James.
Neither am
Nigga. I'm
I.
not talking about that
I'm
Trish
not talking
Stratus.
about that either. I want to be honest. I'm being very clear with you. I
Okay,
disagree with you about her having early Tristratus, you know, presence. I
we've
think.
had this conversation on tape where you've said this before, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Listen, I'd never said that she had an early Trish Stratus presence. I said that yeah, I can see that they can see like a younger Trish Stratus, or you know, or you can relate them together if you want, based off like you know having the look of somebody who you know is definitely very, um, has that appeal of like, oh, she's very attractive and she's a decent wrestler. As far as the work she's gotten, and if you want to give her roses today for the match, then let's give a round of applause for Mandy for having a great match with two great other wrestlers. So I want to also give a round of applause to Miko Satomura, who honestly I think carried that match in my opinion, as well as Blair Davenport.
She's 30 years old. I'm 30 years in the game. Like,
I'm just giving her props, dog. Is it bad to give her props?
I mean, it was bad to give Mandy her props.
No, it's not. I didn't say it was bad. I said she had a good match. I'm just saying that she ain't that long. She ain't that. She ain't Miss, like dominant, NXT champion in my opinion. But that's what it is. It is what it is. That's what they gave her. That's what they see. So I'm gonna go according to what they see. And she is one of the longest, NXT Women's Championship. Now she has the NXT UK Championship. She's unifying the belts. So this is part of Mandy's legacy. I'm not trying to take that from her. However, there's more talented people than her, and that's all I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think Miko definitely.
It's always gonna be more talent. That's not what the conversation was. It's like
that's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't making a conversation other than saying that this reign that she's had, it ain't elevating nobody to me. It ain't making the women's division in NXT interesting to me.
Not going to elevate Zoe Starks because that's her competition, my nigga. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, a Mandy Rose and Zoe Starks match is not going to motherfucking rise the cachet of Zoe Starks, my nigga. Like,
well, I'm sure. I'm telling you, her and other people would. That's the thing that
Zoe. I'm sorry. Zoe. I'm sorry. I am sorry. Did you watch Zoe Starks' last match on NXT?
Her last one?
Yeah, like her last one. Yeah.
No, I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched. That's all I'm saying.
She's not a bad wrestler. I've seen her wrestle, but what about the last match? What are you saying with the last match, though?
What I'm saying is that that's my point, man. I'm telling you, like you're saying elevate people, okay? Elevate who? Right? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying elevate who? Like we know if there's a champion where I'm not seeking out to go see, excuse me. I'm not totally seeking out to see a Mandy Rose match, but I'm totally not disregarding it either, my nigga. I have not watched a Zoe Starks match that ain't involved something else to watch. What I'm saying is
you haven't watched a women's match, period, in NXT for like a year. So let's be honest. Like,
no, that's a lie. I just told you. I just told you about Roxy and Mandy Rose had the match where Cora Jade turned on her. Like I watched that live without knowing Cora Jade was turning on the nigga.
But do you know what the real like? Let's be honest. While we watched the match, it was Roxy. Like you see, that's what I'm talking about elevate. It's like. I dig Mandy as a character. I love Toxic Attraction. I think she should have had a long reign. Absolutely. Should it be this long? Nah. By now, I would have built Roxy as a credible contender to get the title on her as a babyface. Maybe still have some feud with Toxic Attraction, and then her and Cora Jade, boom, have their feud after that. That's what I would see as my plan. And it's not to me. It's like oh, who's there to fight? There's plenty of women in NXT. Now you got Alba Fire. Now you got Blair Davenport. Now you got all these people infusing from UK that are talented wrestlers who've been wrestling in WWE for years now. So it's to me, it's kind of like easy to say, oh, there's nobody else had the title, but I think there has been. Especially, I don't think that Mandy's the person who's like above them. I don't think Mandy's the one who say, oh yeah, she's that credible champion that obviously no one's on that level, so she has to hold it for this long. I think she should have held like maybe half of this reign, as long as or maybe even a third of what she's had now. Eventually, I think she should have dropped it months ago. Honestly, I do, but I think she should have had a lengthy reign for sure. I'm not saying she should have never had the title. I'm not saying she shouldn't have had it for a long time. I'm saying that she's not a Shayna Baszler type of credit. She's not a Asuka, but they're giving her that reign, and hey, it is going to be that.
I'm saying, but every champion ain't gonna be that, right? Every
So
champion
yeah, but you get what I'm
on the
saying? I'm not saying that every champion's gonna be that. I think that Mandy's not. So that I'm saying that.
I know, but she's that. That's not that, bro. Like that's what I'm
So
saying.
my
like,
point is she shouldn't be having that reign because it doesn't. I don't buy it. So that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say, as far as champion, they could have had multiple storylines going on with her that
I mean, you want to talk about even not buying something, bro. Liv came in as a wounded animal, and Shayna ain't tear that bitch apart. And you want to talk about believable? I don't believe.
Listen,
Liv
we're not talking about Liv right now. We can talk about Liv if you want. I'm talking about Mandy.
I'm just talking about, you want to talk about believability as champion, right? You want to talk about as Mandy comes in as an underdog champion when you watch her against people that are more credible than her, correct?
No, I'm not saying. I think they book her as a strong heel champion. I don't think they book her as an underdog. They book her as a strong heel champion. I think when she gets into a place where like Alba Fire, where she's running away because she has a bat, obviously she's like scared and whatnot because she has a fucking bat. I think the way they've booked her has been just how you book a heel champion, but it has no sizzle, has no spice, has no sauce on it. So it's just like, oh, a pretty champion who has a long reign. And I don't remember any feuds. I don't remember any real matches.
But that's my point, Chidi. There's no sauce because there is no sauce there.
I'm saying Mandy's not sauce. I'm saying Mandy's the one. I'm telling you, you put that title on Roxy, you're not feeling the same way. You put that title on Alba Fire, you're not feeling the same way. You put that title on somebody else. I don't think that we don't remember any matches for a year like that. We're telling you.
I'm telling you that because there's no. If you put it on Alba Fire, who's her opponents?
Alba Fire. If you put her as a depends on if she's a heel or babyface, but genuinely, there's other people on the roster and how you build Alba Fire with them.
You're saying genuinely is other people on the roster, and you have not named one yet.
You realize I've been talking about Roxy this entire time, so you know she's one. You already know that. I think that I'm telling you already. I'm telling you. Listen, there's a whole roster. Did a whole tag team tournament for. There's still Indy Hartwell. There's still Zoe Stark, who I obviously you don't like as much, but she is a competitor. I'm not saying she should have won the title with Alba, but I think that would have been a better, feud than Mandy and Zoe. I personally feel that way. And maybe you don't, but and I feel like Toxic Attraction has lost its steam. And there's nothing wrong in saying that. That's just my opinion. You might feel that way.
No, I'm not arguing that. Hold on. I'm not arguing. I don't want the topic of comments. What I'm talking, I said, we started off by saying Mandy put on her working boots because as a champion, since she's been champion, she's improved.
Yes,
she's approved. She showed why she was put in the position. Again, that's the reason why I made the Trish Stratus was not a wrestler. When we first saw Trish Stratus, we knew she was attraction. Mandy Rose, same way. When we saw Mandy Rose, we said she's just an attraction. She had to continuously get better, just like Trish Stratus did, and she got awarded, just like Trish Stratus did, as being WWF Women's Champion. When at that time, like you say, who was the roster back then? I just told you, it's Ivory, it's Victoria, it's Jacqueline, it's Jazz, right? That is Molly Holly. Like that roster was thick with wrestlers.
Trish can also talk on a mic, and she's attractive.
She wasn't talking, nigga. She was.
Oh my God! When Trish won the title, you told me that she didn't talk on the mic.
No,
yes, she did, and she had more appeal than Mandy Rose, and that's not revisionist history to me. I do believe that. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, she was just like Trish, where she had to, learn on the job to become a better worker, and I agree. 100%. Manny, Manny, I'm not saying that you're not a great worker, that you not have made improvements. That's not this conversation. I want to give her a prop. She has gotten better as a worker. I'm not saying she shouldn't even be champion. I'm saying that she should have. You can go back to before when she won this title. What was I saying? I was the one saying, put the title on Mandy. Obviously, it makes the most sense. I was the one saying that. So I'm not saying you shouldn't have put the title on her. I'm saying that this dominant run, I'm ready for it to end because I want to see other people link up with this title
But I
and
think
get.
that's the point. I think that's the point of the run. When somebody beats her, it's going to matter. Nobody,
I do
nobody
think
matters right now.
I don't I mean if you can bring in Pretty Deadly and put the tag team titles on them, then I think you can bring in a Roxy and put the title on her. You can bring in an Alba Fire and put the title on her, especially after she's won the UK Championship in the past. So I think that there's no I don't agree with the point that you're saying that there's nobody. I disagree. I'm not saying you put title on Zoe Stark because I think she needs more work. My opinion, but
Character. She
Roxy.
needs more character. Zoe don't need work. She's a
I
great.
mean, like more work
great
as far as
character.
character. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Roxito, Alba Fire. You can even put on Nikita and see what she does with it. I'm not saying or maybe give her a short reign. I don't care. I just know that people have, seen her and they've gotten on her bandwagon and they like her a lot. So I'm like, if she's getting attention, let's ride that train. If you want to have the
that's
toxic,
how Mandy. That's exactly how Mandy got the championship.
yeah, and I said that's fine when she got it. I'm not disagreeing that you can't put the title on somebody where they're the hottest thing at the point in time. I'm not saying that you now give Nikita Lyons in a year-long reign. No, I would never do that. So that's the thing I'm saying with Mandy. It's like that. I think that's the thing when people talk about with Mandy. Is like, okay, I'm waiting for the women's division to get heated up again. I want to see that NXT fire that we used to see in the past, where like, yo, they got the best women's roster in the world. They don't have that anymore. Obviously, they moved. A lot of people have moved on to the main roster. Some people left the company. Some people went to AEW. All that stuff happened. Now I want these new cats to get some opportunities to show and prove. So I'm sure we'll see it eventually. But as far as Mandy Rose is concerned, we'll see how it goes. I'm just not that invested anymore, and I haven't been for a bit. So at this point, it's like, oh, congratulations, let's move on.
Well, I mean that's true. I mean, you wasn't invested in Dallas. That was in March, right? Here we are in September, right? You was not. You was. I mean, I'm sorry, April. Like you wasn't invested in Mandy Rose at all then. And I'm like, bro, she came out with the Angels wings. Like everybody's.
She looked great. She looked great. I mean, she looked like a Victoria's Secret model, honestly. So
exactly why she got the title.
Exactly why she got the title. Yeah, but I mean, come on. I'm a guy where that can only last for so long for me. And she has gotten better in the ring, but her match.
Roman looked like a movie star, and that nigga had the shit for 2 years. So I guess
Roman can also work. Roman can also talk. Roman can also present himself as the dominant.
It took. Okay, yes, it took him a while for us to get here. Like yes,
it took Roman a while, but once he got here, he got the title and kept it. Like my point is, like he's not having a 2-year run with the old Roman. He's not. This Roman, when he came back from that hiatus, is what we saw, and then they put title on him and he held it for 2 years. It's not like he figured it out while he's in the middle of the reign. Mandy is in the middle of her reign, still developing this toxic attraction thing, which is just I look pretty. Here I am. I'm sexy.
It's pretty much like you bitches saying it's the white version of Jade, which is why I can't get mad at it. Like Mandy's saying that she's that bitch, and like honestly, she walking the talk. Nigga, I can't.
I think that I like Jade, hitting people with power bombs and sidewalk slams and all that stuff more than I like Mandy hitting a V trigger.
That V trigger killer, man.
That's just my opinion, and it's not no bias.
Connected with that when she connected with that bitch to win the title.
Nah, but shout out to the Miko Satomura. Yeah, I'm never like disappointed when I see Satomura wrestle. Yeah, like honestly, I haven't seen her wrestle in a while, but I remember like she stood out to me in the Mae Young Classic. I know I've seen her wrestle a couple times since, and she stood out to me this match. She still stood out to me, like wow, So it was a good match.
Blair Davenport was. I watched them. Like you said, I don't. As you state, I don't watch a lot of NXT women's matches. Not really, because it's not a lot of women matches that are like Miko. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not every day that you get a Miko at NXT 2.0 right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like 2.0 been rebranded. Let's be honest. 2.0 has been rebranded for a year. right? And for a year, they were just like, we don't know what the fuck we're gonna do. It's
They
a
were
lot of y'all
horny as
niggas,
fuck.
huh?
They were horny as fuck for like the first 8 months.
Yo, and so if you horny, who you put as champion? Okay,
Listen, I
so
get it.
we just been left in that. We just been left with that nigga because bitches is gonna scream for Braun and niggas is gonna get stiff for Mandy. Okay, like that's just what it is, you
All
know.
right.
So,
Speaking of Braun, him and Tyler Bate, man,
yep.
great match, phenomenal, man. I think that was Braun Breaker's best match of his career. In my opinion, it was great. Tyler Bate brought it to that dude, and move for move, had the crowd at the edge of their seat. And I love the finish, man. Tyler
That
Bate did
springboard
the
into the
springboard
spear,
into
my
the spear
nigga.
was awesome, and it was done. That was the end. That
and
was
and
all she
and
wrote.
and the sportsmanship after, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I like that.
Uh-huh.
But I know you meant I don't want to breeze past this because this is unified and Braun Breaker is in the Mandy Rose situation for me, right? So like how you feel about Mandy Rose, I'm not gonna long winded. I'm just gonna say everything Chidi said about Mandy,
How?
I feel about Braun. So that's just
How?
me just
No, but I'm like, because listen, you went on. It wasn't me that made it long winded. You went on and started complaining and going on about man
no,
explaining
because
how she's like
I meant
Trish and all this stuff.
I mentioned
Explain
Trish
to
and
me
then
how
you got
why
offended
Braun.
because you like when I was 14, I was beating my meat to Trish and
I've
nobody
never
said
beaten
Trish,
my
nigga.
meat to Trish. I've never beaten my meat to Trish. I'm saying that Trish has been hot and she was hot and she's hot as a character. Go back and show me a bad Trish promo, even when she was in TNA or just a manager. She's always had presence on the mic. Mandy still has yet to find that for herself. Moving on, Braun Breakers. How the hell are you gonna compare him to Mandy? I don't see it.
Man, Mandy made Otis hot, nigga. Mandy made Otis hot in the streets. So I rest my case, nigga. Fuck you talking about. Okay? Mandy made that nigga Otis
Otis
one of the
made
money
Otis
in the
hot in the
bank.
streets.
Oh, wait, we go. I almost close my laptop on your ass, nigga. Otis ain't make Otis shit, nigga, but fat. Fuck you talking about?
Man, heavy machinery, man.
Okay,
Put some
Mandy
respect on
Rose,
that
man.
name.
Okay, all right, nigga. When she came out there looking like Sunny 2.0, we thought Heavy Machinery was taking it to the top. We thought them niggas was Josh Briggs and them niggas, nigga.
Oh my god. Josh Briggs and them
Yo,
niggas. Josh Briggs and Briggs Josh.
thank God they got the titles off those niggas, right? You want to talk about an unworthy champion? Let's just agree on that.
I
Those,
agree, man. I agree.
those let's shake hands virtually,
All right,
nigga.
virtual
Those
shake hand. Yeah,
niggas
listen, we agree.
was trash.
Yeah, they eliminated him like right away in the match. That's how you know. That's how you know. They had the champions come in and get eliminated before the challengers. Yeah, let's get these
Yo,
guys
just
out of
go
here.
into the locker room, bro. We got beer waiting for you and everything. Don't even worry about it, brother.
Oh
Happy
man.
Labor Day, motherfucker. Like,
Yeah, for real. And shout out to Pretty Deadly and Lash Legend.
nigga, Lash Legend is a
Yeah.
legend, bruh.
Mhm.
She a legend. Now,
She a
hold
legend.
on. Now, you want to talk about future NXT Women Champion? Lash Legend, nigga. I can't wait to see that nigga win the title.
Can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait. Shout out to Legend. She got it. She got it. I think that when she first came, I thought she had super charisma. It's just that in the ring, she was kind of stiff. She definitely she knocking bitches out for real. So I was like,
Loosen up
whoa,
a little bit, man.
yeah, but she getting better and better. Yeah, she absolutely can be a future NXT Women's Champion one day. But she's with Pretty Deadly, the unified NXT UK Tag Team Champions and Tag Team Champions of NXT. So it was a good match, and we predicted it. It had to be Pretty Deadly. You think you predicted it? Pretty Deadly or Creed Brothers, and Pretty Deadly was down to those two. Creed Brothers were turned on by their partner. What's his name?
Kemp, that's all I know. I think DK. I think his name is Damian Kemp, if I'm not mistaken.
Damon Kemp. Yeah, Damon
Damon
Kemp.
Kemp. Okay,
Yeah.
Damon Kemp. Yeah.
So also, Roderick Strong was beat down in the most dangerous place in the world, and that is the NXT parking lot. So he was taken to the hospital, and Damon Kemp cost the Creed Brothers a tag team championship in that match. The turn was cool. The turn was cool. I liked it. And pray Deli steal it again from the
Yeah.
Creed Brothers for a second time.
Love those guys. love those guys, man. All right, so we're gonna do a quick run through. What you think about Clash? That how did you feel about Clash?
Clash. I thought it was good. Roman's great. Drew is great. They had a great match. Honestly, I love what they did. But I know she didn't have a great long match, but every time I see Bianca in that ring, I am impressed, man. Bianca Belair might be the best wrestler in the world, and I'm saying that really, and it's only because she has everything you can ask for in a superstar. And when she displays her power, her agility, her speed, her explosiveness in that ring, in a 6-woman tag match, whenever she's in that ring, she stands out amongst Bailey, Io, Dakota, Asuka, and Alexa. And that was my highlight of the whole show.
Bianca reminds me of LaDainian Tomlinson. Every fucking time you may not be watching the game, right? But every time you happen to see that nigga, it's spectacular.
It's spectacular. There's a show,
It's spectacular. Whether he get it like at the line of scrimmage, like you said, power, right? Or he motherfucking hit the hole, acceleration. You know what I'm saying? He motherfucking hit that corner, agility, juke.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll fuck around and take a linebacker off, and you like, oh, he's stiff arm the nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Safeties had no chance against that. Yo, Bianca is legit. Like you was mentioning all that shit, and all I can just see is lightning bolt on her. She's
yeah.
talented, though.
I want watching the match, I'm like, okay, it's a good match. And then she comes in the ring and just move for move, the way she just freaking picked up Dakota, lifted her up, body pressed her. It was like with ease, Then she does a backflip, and then she runs and spears somebody else. I'm like, she's nonstop on go when she's in that ring. And it's beautiful to watch. It's honestly beautiful to watch, and I do think the way she moves and she works. Then you give her a mic, she's pretty much perfect. She's on a mic, her, Roman, Seth Rollins, and WWE are like literally elite. These are people who are in the elite atmosphere of this company. So I just wanted to give a shout out to those guys. I love Drew and Roman's match. It had like a lot of different pieces to it.
It was Drew's WrestleMania, and he deserved it.
It was Drew's WrestleMania. However, he was not victorious due to the debuting Solo Sikoa on the main roster, helping his cousin Roman retain the championship. Now Sammy has some competition as the honorary Uso, because this is a real Uso coming up back up the bloodline.
No, Sammy's still an honorary because it's a real Uso. It's a real Uso.
He's a real Uso, but you think that he gonna get they don't really need Sammy anymore. You think that they be like, listen, man, you ain't real.
No, listen. This would be my thinking. A good earner is a good earner. You know what I'm saying? A good earner. And if I'm the boss, until Sammy shows that he's not valuable, right, then I'll cut him loose. Now, if the nigga Solo coming in like, man, I can bring that in at half the time.
Yeah, he got that killer instinct, Solo. So
I just really wish one quick note on that. I just really wish that Solo would have showed something that was street. know what I'm saying? Maybe a kick, maybe a motherfucker,
Yeah.
throat thrust, some shit like that. And also, I would have rather and liked Drew pass out from the guillotine.
Honestly, that would have been cool too.
If Solo comes with the rope and he comes
Mm-hmm.
and motherfucking Roman latch onto that shit as he stumbles in and he can't catch his and he pass out, that would have been like that. Would A plus plus to me, because as you can see, Drew comes off, stumbles, and he runs a little, like, where you running to? Where you going? You ran right into that. You know what I'm saying? But if you stumble into a nigga, motherfucker, kick you in the gut, latch on, or you stumble and walk into a nigga, just jump on a nigga, like, you gotta think about it. A nigga rake your throat across some big ass cables.
I think we get it.
And you turn around and Roman's 260 pounds just
that bicep.
Bitch, I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead as a motherfucker.
Yeah, as Roman says, his arms real big. You know, I mean, you sleeping, putting people to sleep. I remember he said that he was putting somebody in sleeper. He's like, my arms real big.
My arms real big right now, nigga.
Squeezing the life out of it, all that talking trash shit, yeah. But yeah, I think we saw it coming. I know we talked about Drew a couple months ago winning at Clash, but as we got closer and closer, I was like, nah, Roman's still keeping this joint.
We talking about Mandy's reign. Roman right now about to push 800.
They're doing it right now with these long ass reigns. The Usos had a long reign. Roman has a long reign. Walter looks like he's stacking up his long ass reign. He just beat Sheamus, and people were calling it like a 5-star match. I thought it was a good match. I didn't think it was 5-star, but it was definitely proof what we thought it was going to be.
It was brutal.
It was brutal.
Hold on. Highlight of the motherfucking Saturday, Imperium.
Oh, yes. No longer Fabian Eichner. He kept the Giovanni Vinci.
And he kept the black motherfucking diamond hoop earrings for you hoes.
Yeah. They brought it back. They united Imperium. Sheamus had his boys with him. Gunther had his boys with him. Imperium's back on him. Triple H, man, he knows what works. I'll say that, and he's not going to just change it up. But I will say this: Kaiser on that mic and the entrance is a right decision.
Bruh, he's. I ain't gonna say it, but you know what I'm saying. He-esque. You know what I'm saying. He got that presence. So
yeah,
like
he's better than Aiden English, or because when he used to announce for who was he? Rusev, yeah. He the ring, like when he does that shit, I don't know even how he pronounces that shit, but he's got that presence on that mic. So gotta give Kaiser his love, man. But Giovanni Vinci's back, Kaiser's with him, and the Imperium is reunited. Coming strong. So we got the what they call them, the Irish fighting men. What they call them?
The brutes, the
Brewing Brawlers,
or something like that.
Battering Brutes.
Yeah,
we got Imperium. We got New Day, obviously. Hope Biggie can come back eventually one day, but who knows? We got the Bloodline. We got a couple of stables where
we got Legado. We got
Legado.
The pop up.
You got Legado coming back. You got Hit Row.
Do you think Dom goes with Legado? Think Dom goes with Legado? Or is he
Dominic, I would keep him by himself for now. Honestly, he don't need nobody. He only goes to Legado if he's the leader, which I wouldn't make anybody else the leader but Santos. So, I would keep Dom on Raw by himself. Obviously Dominic has he turned on Edge and Mysterio, which I fucking loved, because I've been saying that this nigga needs to leave his dad's, left titty for a while. So I believe that this is the best thing for Dominic, is to have a heel turn and pave his own path, because It's only for so long you can be under the learning tree and Rey Mysterio. Now it's time for you to go on your own and figure out what is Dominic Mysterio without his dad and teaching him, and the ropes and tagging with his father. Who is Dominic outside of? You got arguably the greatest babyface of all time as your dad. Like you don't need to follow that path at all. Your money, like I said when he fucking debuted, will be made as a heel. So finally, we've gotten there. We had the father son heartfelt moment. They won the tag titles. They did a couple of WrestleManias. He debuted in the pandemic. He finally got the crowd back, and they loved him. Now it's time to dead that shit. Give Edge and Rey Mysterio their just due. They can be tag champions one day, maybe. We got Imperium back for the tag division now too. That's awesome. We got Hit Row. So things can move now and shake with the tag division. I think that Dom as a solo wrestler is what's best for him. A solo heel wrestler. And honestly, if I was him, anybody can get it at this point. Anybody can get it. My dad can get it. Edge can get it. Like, yo, let's go. Smack anybody in the face.
Dom, don't get your pussy ass hurt, nigga. Stop listening to Cheaty.
Dom,
he rocking a mullet, nigga. He'll get his ass beat to sleep.
Dom,
bro.
You know what you gotta do, right? You gotta
shoot a nigga.
Yo, you gotta walk up to Kevin Owens and slap that nigga in his face. So you gotta do.
Yo, you better carry your pistol down. Niggas gonna beat this shit out your goofy looking ass, nigga, and take your Balenciagas off your feet, nigga.
Yeah, you gotta change your style up. You can't be wearing no fucking latex freaking spandex and shit. You gotta figure out your heel gear. Yo, you ain't no superhero, dog. Leave that to the pops.
Oh man, shit. Anything else off the top of the dome?
Seems like AEW, not AEW, WWE will do. They'll be trying to get Bad Bunny back. Triple H said so. Sometime WrestleMania, we'll see that. Triple H also said they're going to try to keep on growing their fan base across the globe to try to make it like a World Cup type of thing, where NXT Europe is just the start of that. So as we phase out NXT UK, they're going to try in the future months to phase in NXT Europe as a staple brand in Europe, so that then after that works over a couple of years, they can then do one in other locations and build stars that way across the globe.
This was always his plan.
Yeah, this was always his plan, even though that in the original plan, he hopped right over Africa. It's okay. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. We'll start with the Europe, thing. I just hope that it's successful because I know there's a lot of wrestling in Europe. I just don't know if NXT UK, that test run of what they were doing NXT UK, what is that going to be a bigger venture with Europe now? Is it the same thing as NXT UK, but just now said Europe? Because what makes it different from NXT UK now? Like in my mind, are they traveling around Europe, and or is it just we just got more Europe talent? So what makes it different and what makes it bigger than NXT UK? I'm just waiting for that information to see what comes out with that. I know we want to talk about a couple other things.
I mean, the United Kingdom is only one part of the continent.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't like they only had UK wrestlers. They had a bunch of European wrestlers.
I think that's the point, right? I think for it not to be the United Kingdom, so it's not at Birmingham, right? So it's not centralized. The niggas gotta travel to London and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because like you say, niggas was just in Cardiff, Wales. This the first time niggas 60. I ain't know you had 60,000 niggas in Cardiff. You know what I'm saying? And it looked like them niggas traveled because in that continent, that is where their WrestleMania is. So if they
bigger stadium event since SummerSlam 1992. So congratulations to them and pulling it off. And I want to see more of that, but like you said, getting 60,000 people, together and knowing that you have the market for it is key, and then getting the talent out there. It's a lot goes into putting on that level of a show in another country. Um,
Yeah,
Obviously,
and
it
I
was
think
at
that's I
started
think
at
that's
1 o'clock here in the states.
yeah, I think
So
that's why they expanded a little bit too. Like you said, they took over a lot of the Europe talent, but I think majority of, like you say, listen, it's we're not gonna beat around the bush. It's a monopoly, right? Like that's just what it is, right? WWE is just like it's unfortunately WWE has been North America for some time, right? You go to Mexico, you grab Ken, right? That has been
yeah,
it,
they
right?
want to get Boardwalk and Park Place at the same time. So they want to get the
Which I
Europe
mean, and if you got
and
enough money, you can
America.
do it, my nigga. You
Yeah,
did,
yeah,
you
and I get it, but I still don't completely understand the difference between NXT UK and NXT Europe, other than the name. Are they touring more, or is it a bigger? Is it going to be bigger stadiums or arenas now? Is it going to be like Raw, or is it just going to be another smaller NXT? I don't know, but we'll see. I'm going to give it some
I don't
time.
think it could be a smaller NXT if they're growing bigger. So that would be my thing. Like I
No,
think
it's not.
that
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I know I'm so I would think that like you said, like the for me, it's broader. It's broad. I understand, like you say, the NXT UK thing, but I think that was the thing. NXT UK was the tester, right? I think that was the tester. Like, hey, all right, go in there and see if you can draw, see if you can grab some people, see if the people can care. See,
My thing is, if that was a tester that literally didn't have to close it down, all he had to do is come out with like, "Hey, then this tournament is for the NXT European Championship, and we're
but
changing this just like we changed the same to NXT 2.0. We're changing the show to NXT Europe and European. So it's a European Championship, and this is NXT Europe. They could have done that just by announcing it. So the closing down of NXT UK and then saying we're going to work on something else, NXT
I
Europe.
think that makes
It seems
that
like there's
makes sense.
more to it than just
I think that makes sense
what
to
they
me.
have with NXT UK.
I think that makes sense to me. I think at the same time, like you say, like okay, for as like you said, just strictly off a brainstorm business and logic situation, like instead of saying like I'm gonna have a NXT Tokyo, right? And because that's the hub, right? That's where people can come. But now you're like, nah, I want to go NXT China. And you're like, well, if you're gonna already be in China and niggas, I'm sorry, I mistaken. Tokyo's in Japan, so let me revise.
Yeah,
But you know what I'm trying to say. But if you were doing the NXT Tokyo,
it's a NXT Tokyo or NXT Japan, and then saying, okay, we're now making a NXT Asia or something like.
yes,
I hear that, and
yeah.
that makes sense to me logically what they're trying to do, but I'm still waiting on it to make sense to me as far as the business decision to shut NXT UK down, because to me, if this is not a complete rebrand of the show, then it's not worth it to shut it down. They could have just made a new title and rebranded a new name of the show, and then still
Well,
had it
I
on.
think that's what
Is
people.
it still on a network, or is it going to have a TV, or is it going to have a
Well,
TV presence? Like
well,
I don't.
I think that's what people did with NXT 2.0 too, right?
Yeah,
A lot of people was like, well, if they're gonna make, and they tried to like, hey, we're gonna rebrand it, and niggas like, don't like it. Take us through, well, and they're like, well, we gotta build it up to be something different because 2.0 is going to be 2.0. It's no longer black and gold. It's no longer, and I think one of the things too is patience, right? Not you and I, not me and you, but like just like you said, like the to give them grace to unfold a plan because like you say unfolding a plan that is grand is going to come in different increments.
yeah, levels. It's
You
gonna
know
be
what I'm
levels to
saying?
this, and
You know,
different, steps. Because obviously they have an idea. I'm not saying that if they don't like have an idea of where they're
but
going, but
I think it's going to be
I
broad.
it sounds different. It sounds like it could be dope. It sounds like it could be better, but I'm like, in what ways? Because if it's not very different than NXT UK, to me, then it's not worth doing all this, hoopla for. Because if it's the
You
same
telling
thing
me
as NXT UK, because NXT UK had a lot of European wrestlers on there. What
you
NXT,
telling me don't make an all Atlantic championship if you're going to have Kip Sabian wrestle with it?
that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. No.
I'm
No, but
Yeah,
if you want to take a shot, go ahead.
I'm
You
just
don't have to
saying.
use NXT
No,
as
I'm
a
just saying. No, I'm just saying. Like makes, like you say, makes sense of something, right? And like you said,
yeah,
make sense of it. Like we didn't know what that championship was. We said, is it going to be defended? Right? Me and you had the
yeah,
same conversation. Like you made a new title to do what with it? Okay, so you made a new brand to do what with it? You know what I'm saying? I
yeah.
think that like that
I hear you. Yeah, yeah.
you know
So
what I'm
pretty
saying?
much what yeah, that's what I mean. But we'll see as it develops and the difference of it. And I just want them to. I know they're focused on NXT Europe is a big thing. Focus on NXT 2.0 and fix that shit. So make sure that gets better. And it's working. They're doing it because I saw last episode. I saw what they did with this next show, World Wars Collide. So we're in the process of the Triple H dropping his influence a little bit into his baby NXT and see if we can revitalize this shit. If we can just pump some life back into this bitch. Braun Breaker had a great match with Tyler Bates. So like I'm back in slowly with NXT 2.0. We'll see how it turns out. Other than that, I know we have some other topics, but it is 2:00
No, I
at
don't think
night.
I don't even know if I had
There's a
any
few things I wanted to get
Oh,
off.
okay. Oh,
I'm gonna
bet.
be honest, but I'm not gonna do it right now. We'll save it for Thursday.
Bet.
Um, and we didn't talk about Matt Riddle and Seth, so like shout out to them. They had a good match as well. But yeah, that's all.
Oh, well, listen, how about this? We do this shit how we do it. Whenever a month, listen, Cheaty got Beeline, I got Beeline. All we gotta do is send a text. If that nigga get a motherfucking urge in his gut, the motherfucker say, I wanna talk some shit. All that nigga gotta do is hit me a text. So if he wanna talk some shit about Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, whenever that shit,
We'll talk some shit about
if
Twitter.
that nigga say, you know what,
Looking,
I'm calling off work tomorrow, nigga, 'cause I want to just get my shit on. Guess what? He can send me a text,
I will, Ben.
nigga.
I will.
Oh man, nah, man. That was our weekend recap. Shout out to AEW. Shout out to NXT for putting on a great show. Shout out to WWE putting on their first big show in the UK for 30 years. Shout out to us being up at 2:00 in the morning, like every other wrestling fan right now, tweeting about this shit
Listen,
on your
man.
YouTube page.
If this is not commitment, I don't know what is. A lot of people want to tweet their condescending bullshit at us for asking questions on Twitter, but we do this for the love, man, and we are reasonable because we have two men here that can have a verbal conversation, and that's why we made this podcast because we reasonably can hear somebody else's opinion and debate it reasonably and
Yeah,
have that
and shout out to our
conversation.
new listener that I met literally today, like 2 hours ago. My car broken down. I had to get that bitch towed, and the nigga was like, "Yo, Cody Rhodes got to come back for the Royal Rumble, right?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, nigga!"
Wait, he randomly saw you and said that?
Yeah, he was working at the he was so we was staying at the resort. So the white car was at the resort and shit. So homie was working at the resort and he was like, "Everything good?" I'm like, "Yeah, just give him the toe." He was like, "Nice shirt, by the way. I miss him." And I'm like, because I wasn't really even like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, he was like, "I'm watching Instagram right now for AEW." I'm like, "I'm on Twitter right now for AEW." He was like, and I'm like, "After the night, I gotta record a podcast." He was like, "A podcast? What's a podcast?" I'm like, "Well, reasonable wrestling, sir."
That's what's up. That's what's up, man.
So I'm about to
Listen,
post this shit live for my nigga. He working overnight shift, nigga. He about to
shout
get
out
this
to you,
shit.
man. Shout out to anybody who listens and hears us out, man. I appreciate y'all. And but yeah, like we always say, everything is wrestling. All is love. We'll be back here maybe tomorrow. We'll see. We'll see. Well,
Maybe tomorrow. And
maybe tomorrow.
unfortunately, I did this kind of crazy. I was this went up on YouTube. So we're gonna, you know what I'm saying?
Uh,
So we're gonna, for those who
it's a good
saw
thing I didn't say nothing crazy because usually
it,
I'm
Yeah,
crazy on a Patreon.
yeah. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning, so we really could have
Yeah,
been real reckless. You know what I'm saying?
word. You know, I was
Yeah.
gonna take a shot, but I'm glad I didn't. But
So you know
also
what?
happy.
We gonna give y'all what y'all want. We gonna give y'all what y'all asking for.
Yeah, but yeah, we here, man. It's dedication, man.
All right, man. Everything is wrestling. Chidi got to clock in, be at work in the morning. I got to clock in, and motherfucking be a dad. So, it's 2:22. Let those affirmations flow. We out.